Hey everyone, I'm Kaitlyn Moss, and I figured I would share with you my strategy for hunting my home lease this year and how I'm going to do it with River's Edge products. So my background consists of mostly public land. I'm used to a lot of the mobile hang and hunt type setups, but I've done a mix of everything from public to private to even outfitters. And to be honest, I really stuck with public because it allows me a lot of opportunity to travel. And I really never had the chance to have my own ground until 2021 hunting season. I was able to get a lease in Iowa, and not really knowing the full extent of the property, I really just had to look at it. So I hunted it to the best of my ability, but a lot of my sits were mobile sits, and I bounced around a lot just to try to figure out the property and really figure out what the deer were doing. But unfortunately, our farmer was one of the first in the whole county to cut crops. So a lot of the bucks that we had on camera had just moved off the property onto the neighbors. They made it really difficult, but this year we decided to put in some food plots, and I feel that that will really help us try to keep deer on the property. Even if the bucks don't necessarily want to stay, it'll keep does here, and hopefully that'll bring them back in. I really didn't want to limit myself to 2 weeks-ish of rut hunting. I wanted to be able to hunt this all season. So I kind of went in and went back to the drawing board, and after using last year's knowledge, I kind of decided that I think there are a few spots that I could really capitalize on, hang some permanent sets, and hopefully have some success out of them this year. Having my own property has been fun because I can kind of experiment a little bit more, cut trees if I have to, cut lanes and plant things and do sort of the management style of hunting versus just going out and just finding the sign. So it's been unique, it's been different learning that aspect, but it's been a lot of fun. When I sat down and kind of looked at the maps, this one section down on the southern side of the property, I knew for sure I wanted to have a plot there. We planted a little over ½ an acre, which isn't much, but it's better than nothing, and it's really kind of convenient because the way it's laid out is the southern half is the property line, and everything north of it is ag field or one basically 100-yard wide finger of timber that runs north to south. So there's really limited options as to where the deer can go. It's kind of a funnel, honestly, and we decided to put a food plot right in the center. And so really, whether the deer are bedded north of us or south on the other neighbors, it's going to be kind of a hot spot because they tend to cross there anyway. So the stands that I chose to stick around the plot, I have 2 places that have stands and trees, and I used the Traveler stands with the grip sticks. The reason I chose those stands is because they're super lightweight. It's kind of a haul to get in to the middle of the property, but they were perfect to bring in, very easy to get up into the tree. So if I have to, I feel like those would be perfect stands to move to other spots if necessary. The platform is a little bit more narrow, but it's longer to kind of give you that edge of, you feel like you have enough platform space, but if you need to get in those tight trees, the one tree that I had hung it in is kind of a cluster of branches that sort of branch out from one center point. So I was able to put that stand directly in the middle of it, and it really was like perfect, convenient, and compact. It's hidden super well because it's not in a big obnoxious stand. So I really like that aspect of it. I also chose the grip sticks that are individual sticks because a lot of the trees on this piece are leaning, as you can see with this one. Not too many that go straight up and down perfectly. So it's nice to have those individual sticks to kind of position them where you need to and space them out. If you have to wrap around the tree, you can. So that's kind of why I chose those. They made it super convenient, and I was able to get into both trees that I really was wanting to get into. The grip sticks are also super lightweight. I put anywhere from 3 to 4 in a tree usually. I feel like that gets me like a perfect height, especially for a lot of these trees that are kind of leaning. You can only get so high in a lot of them, so I feel like 3 to 4 is like the perfect amount. Knowing the information that I know based on the southern half, I put some cameras out and kind of did some scouting up into the timber a little bit. I hunted there a few times, and there's a lot of really good bedding on the east side, and honestly, there's so many good trees in that area, so it made sense for me to hang a stand. There's actually kind of an L shape in that finger. It sort of curves a little bit, and then there's a field on the east side edge, and then it goes down into some timber, and there's a bunch of scrapes and rubs and all kinds of old sign. So I feel like that's a really good pinch point for the rut and when they're cruising through. So I decided to hang a stand in that one tree that's in the corner of that little intersection. The stand I chose for there was the Lightfoot Bigfoot stand, and it is probably my favorite stand. I have used that stand for years and years and years. I used to actually use it on public when I was mobile hunting too, because it was just so perfect. The platform is just like the perfect size. It's also 15 pounds, so it's very lightweight. I was able to carry it very easily. It's just really kind of a good all-around stand. Obviously it's going to stay in this tree pretty permanent now, but it's one that's pretty versatile. The sticks that I had hung in that tree were the grip rail sticks. They're a little bit of a wider foot platform. It literally has the rail sides, so you're able to grab onto them and, you know, have that extra point of contact and security for when you're climbing up. And they also have the Tractionite technology, which is the grippy stuff that lets your boots hold on so you're not slipping and sliding. You can feel very secure climbing in and out of them regardless of weather conditions. The reason I chose those is because the tree that I picked was a little bit wider, so it kind of just made sense. It was more comfortable, and it fit perfectly on that wider tree. It's a little bit bigger tree than what I would normally get in, so I felt like having a little bit extra room was comfortable. So it kind of just made sense, and I think it's going to be a pretty dynamite spot. It really is going to be wind dependent because it's very close to the bedding, but that's one of those spots that I think I'll just have to kind of observe, sit back, and then move in when the time is right. So not only are River's Edge products awesome for hanging, they're lightweight, super comfortable to get in and out of, but they are also at a price point that is very affordable. I feel like a lot of stands on the market these days are just getting more and more expensive, and that is one thing that has definitely drawn me to using them, is the fact that everything just makes sense. It all comes together and it's practically built. The best part about having my own land to manage is the fact that it takes a lot of puzzle pieces to fit together to be able to kind of create that end result that you're looking for. And I think finding those pieces and figuring them out is probably my favorite aspect of the whole thing. I really love being able to find out what the deer are eating at different times of the year, where they're traveling, and maybe why they're traveling there. And just really kind of putting all those pieces together to create this map of, okay, this is what they're doing, and where can I sit to be the most successful in those spots. So having my own property, it's been super nice to kind of just go and figure it out. And so hanging those stands in the places that I did, I'm feeling very confident going into this season, and I'm really looking forward to sitting there and just watching it all happen and hoping for the best, that all my pieces fit together and that I can make a whitetail hit the ground, and you know, it can just celebrate the fact that I was able to do it myself, which is probably the most rewarding aspect, knowing that you put all the hard work into prep and hanging stands and doing your homework and finding out what these deer are doing. So I am really looking forward to this fall, and I cannot wait to share it with you guys.